Today we're going to talk about solving inequalities. Solving inequalities, well, when we solve inequalities, we use the same process we did to solve equations, okay? And then with just one slight exception, which we'll get to in just a minute. But if we were just going to solve this equation of 2x plus 3 equals 7, now it's an equation because there's an equal sign right here. Okay, so because of this equal sign, we know that this means equation. And an inequality means that we've got a greater than, less than, or greater than equal to, or less than equal to symbol. Okay, those are the inequality symbols. So an inequality is when things are not exactly equal to, so we use greater than, less than, greater than equal to, or less than equal to symbols. So we're actually going to use the same process though. So if we wanted to solve 2x plus 3 equals 7, our first step would be to subtract 3 from each side. And when we subtract 3 from each side, we have 2x is equal to positive 4. Okay, and then we would divide both sides by 2, and we get that x equals 2. So in this particular case, x equals 2. And if I had you graph that on a number line, you would start by saying that's 0, that's 1, that's 2. This way we've got -1 and -2. And x equals 2, we would just simply use a heavy dot. And that would be the graph of x equals 2. Okay, so that's how we would solve a basic equation. Now, to solve an inequality, we're going to use very similar steps. Okay, we're going to look at this and say our inequality is that 2x plus 3 is greater than 7. Okay, this is our greater than sign. So the symbol here is greater than. Okay, and we're going to solve this using the same method. Our first step is going to be to subtract 3 from each side, and that's so we can isolate this 2x. So we have 2x is greater than, because we're just going to bring this symbol down, is greater than 4. And now we would divide both sides by 2, and we get that x is greater than 2. So if I wanted you to graph that solution, we would again start by labeling 0, 1, 2, 3, and on this side we've got -1 and -2 and -3. And we could keep going if you wanted to, but it's not necessary. Okay, and to graph x is greater than 2, we would use an open circle at 2, and we would shade in everything to the right. Now, when your variable is on the left side of your inequality symbol, this symbol is pointing in the direction that you would shade. So we have x is greater than 2. Well, here's 2, and so 3 is greater than 2, so that'll work. And 4 is greater than 2, so that should work. And 5, that's greater than 2 as well, so that would be a good answer. But is 2 a good answer? Well, if we substituted 2 back in here, we would have 2 times 2 plus 3. Is that greater than 7? Well, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 plus 3 is 7. And is 7 greater than 7? Well, no. And so because it's not a solution, it's not actually greater than, we're not going to use a closed circle here. You're going to use an open circle because that's not a solution to x is greater than 2. That's not a solution that would make this statement, this inequality, a true statement. Okay, so when we have just a greater than symbol, then your answer doesn't actually include the 2. So that's why we would use an open circle. Now, every single number to the right of 2, like 2.1, well, that would work. and 2.2. Well, that would work as well. So every single number to the right of 2 is going to be a solution to this equation. Okay, let's look at the next one. We've got 2x plus 3 is less than 7. Okay, so we're going to solve this the exact same way again. We're going to start by subtracting 3 from each side. And when we do that, we've got 2x, we're going to bring down that symbol, is less than 4. And then we divide both sides by 2. We get that x is less than 2. So in my graph down here, I've got 0 in the middle, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then we've got -1 and -2. And if I want to graph x is less than 2, I would use an open circle at 2, because 2 is not less than 2. 2 is equal to 2, so that can't be a solution. And then I would shade everything to the left. So x is less than 2 is graphed like this equation down here.
What specific work are you? Because it's probably going to be multiple people right now. I can tell you probably for 1 month, maybe 1.5 months, we'll have to split up the work.
Start over.